Well, how you doing? Philly D here with Sitemaps. First thing you want to do is links it down in the description box. Um, you want to pull up this first page. It's the first link there. And once you go here, you just click this sitemap generator. And there you go. And you click OK. And make sure you're logged out of all your accounts for your website. Then you go up here in this URL. I want to do it by hand. And then you you just go down. Now look here, we want to exclude all the images. If you have any broken images, I mean, you can put them on there if you want, but I prefer to have them not on there. We're going to leave everything else the same, and just come down here and click the sitemap. Now what this is doing is one here, when you see this start working, okay, that means it's loading up all your pages. You come to the crawler, you see the crawler's working. It's crawling all your site and everything. Now might have some errors or something like that. Click the sitemap button up here, and you can see I had an error here, and that's because that page no longer exists. Something I did, which I highly don't recommend, is that do all your page movements, and if you move anything outside of Dreamweaver's not going to know what's going on. And I've done that, unfortunately. So I have some pages that are no longer on the site, but it's still picking them up somehow, and they're definitely not on the. If you click this over here, you can click over here, see where the pages is. And if I want to go to this page, I right click and open the URL. You notice it's not there, so that's but Dreamweaver doesn't know it's there, and whatever errors you might have, whatever program you're using, you don't have to use Dreamweaver. But as you see, I have quite a lot of errors. Now you only see one or two now, but as you get down the list, basically I have a lot of them, and I have a lot of pages. So what I'm going to do is let this run. I'm going to go through and show you how to clean up your errors. All I do is go ahead and right click and remove, and I make sure they're all removed so I have no errors. There is one little discrepancy I had with this program, and it's probably not the program, it's probably the way I did my site. When I did this before, I noticed that some of the pages were duplicates, and on the sitemap itself I had to go and clean the sitemap on the HTML. Working with sitemaps, you're going to create an XML file, which is great, and you can submit it to Google, you can submit it to Bing, and but the only problem is with Google is it can't crawl the site with a XML file. So what this allows you to do, this program here, is create an HTML sitemap also, which you can make a page so your users can visit, and just basically you see a sitemap there, and also Google can crawl that HTML file. You can, and in a minute here, when we'll clean this all up, we'll submit them to a couple search engines, and that's what we're going to do. Okay, well, it crawled the whole site, and as you can see, you got some more that failed. What we can check for here, for your regulars, it puts in here, you can move this around a little bit, it puts the description in for you. Now I noticed on mine, I went ahead and changed all the descriptions of, say, my restaurants, and I made this so they just looks uniformly. But when I reran this sitemap tool, it did not change up. It might take some time, so I went in manually and changed it on the HTML file myself, and I'll just show you what I mean. So we'll go ahead, and I just get all the red ones and got them out of there, because no sense having them in there. So once everything's all looking good, and everything makes sense, and you don't have any errors or anything, you just come up here to export, and we're going to do an XML file, and I'm going to do is I'm going to call this we're going to call this sitemap 2, just for purposes, so don't override anything. And once that's done, you export again, and you do a site for HTML file. I'm going to do the same thing here. Do a 2 there. And once that's done, you can also get yourself a report of the other side. So we want to have all 3 of those. I mean, we're not going to use this one now, but just in case we ever need it, we've got the report. Okay, so all that's done. You can now, actually, maybe I'll save the project, and we'll save that also. I like to save everything on the desktop. Okay, so this way we can come back to it at a later date, and we're gonna get this one here, and we're gonna drag it right into a Dreamweaver or files. May take a little while because it's quite a lot of information, and I'm going to grab the XML file, do the same as well. And then we're going to refresh. And as you can see here, we got these ones here, number 2 and number 2. Okay, one's an XML and one's a HTML. And you would get these. I mean, I already went ahead and did it. So you get these 2, and then you send them up to your server by hitting that. But as we open up, I want to check out the HTML files. Open up, and you can see that I got some problems going on here. And just for instance, like if we want to go ahead and just say we want to have man versus food, just but without the I like Philly. And it would just, you know, clean it up a little bit. And I went ahead and did that, and I'm going to show you my restaurants just so you can see. And some of these roads were all messed up. Like in here we got 676, but somehow that one got in there. I mean, it's probably because I moved it there before, or maybe started out there and moved it around. But I would just delete that and then backspace it once more, and that would clean it up. And I've cleaned up most of them, but as you can see, I just want to show you the restaurants. And see how the restaurants, and then all of a sudden it's like I like Phillies in there, which don't really jive. And then I got the Asian restaurant somehow got in there. So what I did was, there it is. So I went ahead and I went through, and I had to move some things around, and it looks pretty clean. I mean, there's a few more that I had to change in here just to get this looking really good, because the users are going to see this, and also Google's going to crawl this, and if it doesn't jive with what's on the site. Now see here the restaurants, I cleaned them all up, so that's looking mighty good. And I put the cuisines, I put them all in a row there. And then same thing by neighborhoods, you know, in a row. So it looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. We'll do Bing, and the link's in the description box too. Obviously, you're not going to wind up on my site, but your site will be my site, or my site will be your site. So you just enter in your the URL of your site right in here. There we go. Just go ahead and here's your add your sitemap right here. So and it would be whatever your URL is. Okay, so that will be the one. And once I add that one, and then I'm going to add the next one. So you go ahead and do that, and then once you log into Google, you do the same thing. You put your site in there. I've already done that, and you can add a site over here. Once you're in and you go to your site, you hit optimize on the left hand side, and the sitemap will come up, and As you can see, I already done it. All you have to do is add a sitemap, and you can do your XML one, and right here you can do your HTML as well. Yes, and I'm going to actually delete the other one as well, because I'm not going to make sure they're all perfect before I go ahead and submit them. So that's submitting, and then part 2 of this tutorial will be getting our HTML file and just adding a couple tags and dizzying them up, and as you go, adding the sitemap. And there's other engines out there. Before I go, I just would like to tell you that there's other things that will optimize and go ahead and get you in the searches, but what they say is they buy this software or something, and you can, it'll submit you to 20 different sites. Well, all these different search engines, I basically would like to go to all of them myself. Now, if you go to Yahoo and follow the directions Yahoo sends you to, did quite an extensive search, it'll actually send you to Bing as well. So I think by sending them to Yahoo, well, just Bing and Google for now, and there's other search engines also as well. But I'm going to go ahead and do that individually myself, so I know what they say. What's the old adage? If you want something done right, you have to do it yourself. Well, there you have it. Sitemaps, F10.